Hello students, I Suvarna Muzumdar, Assistant Professor in Electronics and Communication Department of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College welcomes you for the world of emerging technology. This is lecture number 3 in the series of IoT. So in this is a lecture which we are discussing about the components or layers of IoT, that is IoT architecture. In this particular lecture, I am going to cover about the components required while designing any IoT based system. Then I am going to discuss about the layers of architecture, that is 3-layer architecture, 5-layer architecture as 7-layer architecture. Right now there is no fixed architecture defined for IoT system, as it is defined for OSI layer, that we have a 7-layer OSI module for transfer of information through internet. But in case of IoT, we don't have a fixed architecture. Researchers are going on doing some research and proposing new architecture. So right now I am discussing only about the 3 architecture, that is first is the basic one, 3-layer architecture, then I am going to discuss about 5-layer, and the the really in the market right now in present scenario is the 7-layer architecture. So we will discuss it one by one. Before going for the architecture, just we will have the about components of IoT. So the IoT architecture, as the term architecture is used for designing or building something. So here also we are using this IoT architecture for designing a system which help us to connect 2 devices through internet. So the first and the foremost component that is required in designing any system, IoT system, is the sensors. In last lecture we had covered different types of sensor, but for a brief introductory part I am just revising it here again, so that we can have a good sense of the sensors. So sensors and actuators are the basic building block of IoT architecture. There are 2 broadly classified, there are 2 types of sensors, analog in nature, analog sensors and digital sensors. So example for analog sensor will be the microphone, which is a device which used to convert my my voice signal into an analog signal, as my voice is analog in nature. So we use microphone to convert a voice signal into an analog signal. But as all of you are aware of that, our computer or any laptop, all these are the digital system device. Okay, so these system needs digital input. So the output from a sensor which is analog in nature get converted into a digital form using a component, that is, or you can say a converter, that is analog to digital converter. So after sensor we need a device system, that is analog to digital converter, which convert these analog signal into a digital one, and which will be stored in laptop or computer or any other processor, stored as well as processed, and we prefer digital processing because it is very efficient while processing any digital signal, and also it is very easy for removing the error or noise from a digital signal. So we need analog to digital converter after the sensor, and at the another end, or if I want to again my voice, or I want to listen some music, then in that case that music is stored in my laptop or my mobile. That storage is in the form of digital, and now again I want to listen that music. So in that case I need a device that is digital to analog converter, because I have to listen the song, and that is analog in nature. So I need digital to analog converter, which convert my stored music and into a analog form, and now I can listen my music through speaker. So these are the this is the one example how a sensor will work. There are other sensors like accelerometer, we can use gyroscope, we can use temperature sensors, pressure sensor, and many more, depending on which analog domain we want to convert into an electrical signal as well as into a digital signal. So depending on the physical quantity and we need a particular sensor. Like for temperature sensor we go with thermostat and all this thing. For pressure sensor we need pressure gauge sensor, and for distance measurement we'll go with LVDT and many more. Now after this sensors and after this analog to digital converter, we have to store this data or at any place, or we need some processing. So to process this data we need a microcontroller, that is the brain of the system, as I already told you. So this microcontroller use these signals, process this signal, and then gives us a processed data so that we can take some action. Or this microcontroller we program in such a way that depending on the inputs it can take some decision. So for example, let's take one example, like I have to store my data, that is my voice signal. Then before storing that my voice signal as it is, I want to filter it out the noisy component. Then I give this voice signal from microphone to the microcontroller, and this microcontroller can remove the noisy signal and process it and make it efficient and in a compressed form, so that it can be stored at a small area. Because nowadays our data is large and we need to store that data in a compressed form so that it can be stored at smaller place. And right now the research is going on in this areas only, that how can we can compress our data in such a way that we can transfer it over a long distance as well as store it at some place. So this microcontroller is our brain, and the example of these controllers are Raspberry Pi, Arduino. Nowadays you all are aware of these two devices, many, because these are the brain and these are used in our IoT based projects mainly. Now after processing this data, and if microcontroller has take some decision, like it has to decide whether this data has to be transferred to a remote end user or to another IoT based device. So in that case it needs gateway. So gateway is nothing but a medium for transferring the information between two IoT based devices, or between IoT based device and IoT device and the user or program or like a human being. So it is communication. Gateway is the medium for communicating information between device and the people, or device and another device. So there are different types of gateways available, like local area network, in which we can say Wi-Fi, Ethernet is available, or we go for wide area network, in which we go with GSM or 5G module. So this gateway help us to transfer a data, but before transferring this data over a cloud, or you can say to another for another user, then we need some processing, because we don't want to send a redundant data over the cloud or over to another user, because it will waste our bandwidth, because we have restricted with our bandwidth. So we need some hardware and software at this gateway end or at one end, so that they can process our data, that they remove the redundant information, and then they can only transmit a useful information. And also the gateway will take some decision, like it will not repeat the data, or duplicacy is avoided at the gateway end. So this is the third and important block in IoT architecture. Next is the cloud. As I told you that real time, if we are going with IoT based devices for real time application like weather forecasting and something, in that case the sensor is taking real time data, and the data is more, and we don't want that data to be exactly stored in the cloud, because it will take too much space. So to avoid that, we need some processing. So that processing is done at one end. Firstly it will process at microcontroller end, then the gateway end, and then in the cloud before storing also we can have some processing, so that the data can store at a smaller place, because the cloud providers will provide you a limited amount of area. And cloud is a physical server which is present at different part of the world, and the example for cloud providers are Microsoft, Apple, Google, and all these are having some war between them, so that they can provide you a good service. And the responsibility of these providers are that they can secure your data, and security and safety of your data is done by at their end, because we can send our data to the cloud, and it is their duty. They can they can secure this data so that no one other than you can utilize your data for their for misuse. So these are the components of IoT architecture. Now we are going to discuss about the layers of architecture, how these components are connected to each other so that we can have a proper IoT based system. Now let us understand the architecture of IoT. Many people have suggested different types of architecture, like 3-layer architecture, 5-layer architecture, 7-layer architecture, but there is no fixed architecture as now available for IoT system. This is because this architecture is depending on the application, for which application we have to design our IoT system. So depending on application and how much we want the hierarchy, we have to select the architecture. So the basic architecture or the foremost architecture is the 3-layer architecture, but as we go for advanced application, then we will go with 5-layer architecture or 7-layer architecture. We will study one by one these architecture. So first of all, I am going to cover about 3-layer architecture. As in the slide, it is shown that there are 3 layers: perception layer, network layer and application layer. So in case of perception layer, it is also known as physical layer. As if we compare it with OSI model of internet communication, we are having physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transportation layer, session layer and presentation layer and application layer. So here we have 3 layers: perception layer, which is same as physical layer. It help us to connect the environment or say the physical world. So here we have a sensors and our microcontroller, because this layer help us to take the data, gather the data, that is the information from the environment, and it also identify the smartness of the object. As we are giving connecting microcontroller to any dumb device, so we are giving a smartness, that is intelligence to a device which is basically dumb in nature. So this perception layer gives us collect the information. Now the next layer is the network layer, that is where we place our gateways so that it can connect to the IoT devices, or we can say this layer is helpful for transferring information from IoT device or through internet. So network layer is help to gather whatever the data is gathered at perception layer. After processing that data, we have to use that data at some other end, that is remote end. Then in that case, this network layer plays an important role, and this network layer we can use here either Wi-Fi or LAN, or we can have a 5G network, so that it can transmit the data from one end to the remote end. Then we need the third layer, that is nothing but it is a specific application specific layer. Here we can decide for which application we are going to design our IoT system. So for example, if I have to design my IoT system for home application, that is home automation, and then in that case my home automation system is a IoT based system which is controlling all the home equipment. Okay, so in that case the application layer is specific for home appliances. Taking another example like health, in that case in case of health, if I am using IoT, then in that case I am using smartwatch which will monitor my body temperature, my blood pressure or my sugar level. So in that case my application specific is health. In that case the application layer area will change. So this application layer will be application specific. So then we are going to have about 5-layer architecture. So in this 5-layer architecture, the perception layer and the application layer both are working same as whatever we have discussed in 3-layer architecture, that perception layer is a physical layer and application layer is a application specific layer, which like home automation and health. Now the different part is the transport layer, processing layer and business layer. As you seen from the architecture that this transport layer is lying between perception layer and processing layer. So by the name transport, it suggests that this layer help us to transport or the data from perception layer, that is the sensor data, to processing layer, and vice versa, that from processing layer it will transfer the data to perception layer. So this transport layer may use your Bluetooth, may use RFID, or it may use your LAN or near far communication. So this is a network which used so that it communicate within that device, not over an internet layer, but it is within that device. So after this, this data is given to the processing layer. So as the name suggests, it will process your data, it will remove the redundancy, it will remove the duplicate information, and it will only process and data such a way that it, any device can take the decision. So it can also used for you can say the cloud computing, big data analysis, and how we can diverse our data, or how we can have a different or huge amount of data, how we can store that data. So what all the analysis part and processing part are done, or algorithms are used in processing layer. Now after this processing layer, we have one extra layer, that is business layer. So this layer manage all the business point of view, like profit modeling, or you can say analysis part, as well as it will provide you a privacy, security. So firewall and all these applications are placed at the business layer. Now in this 7 layer architecture, it is also known as reference model, because it will gives us a whole idea of our current scenario, how this IoT system works. Here also we will go from bottom side, that is the first layer, that is thing. Here the thing is a term used for sensors or devices which will be medium for connecting information from the environment. So this layer takes the data from sensor, and it is equivalent to the perception layer that we have studied earlier in 3 layer architecture and 7 layer architecture. But in this case, actually in current scenario, we have some smart devices. Till 5 layer architecture, the devices are not smart enough, they are dumbed in nature. But this 7 layer architecture, when it came into picture, it is dealing with smart devices, that we have given an intelligence to the dumb devices also. So now the smart devices will communicate to the IoT system, and means we are using sensors which are smart in nature, so that they can share only the relevant information to the system, IoT system. So here the things we can integrate with smart sensors. We are using smart sensors in our IoT systems. Now from the devices, the information is available with the system. Now this information we have to communicate, or we have to use this system so that we can process it. So for communication, again we are using so simple or multiple protocols, like we can have a M2M, machine to machine communication, or we can go with Wi-Fi, or we can go with networks. Different protocols are used for having a connectivity, or we can say the edge computing. The term used is edge computing. Now the third layer, that is again about the cloud. We have done earlier also, we have seen this layer where we have a network layer, something like that. Cloud is there where we can save our data, we can store it so that another programmer, or if any system is there, so it can utilize this information. After this global infrastructure, that is level 3, layer 3, we have a layer 4, that is big data, or we can have a storage part. This layer 4 is nothing but it is using the velocity, 3 V's, that is velocity, volume and variety. So here we can have a data storage. We can store the data and from the device, that is the sensors, and then we give it data to the data analysis, where they use different softwares like SQL or Hadoop and all these things, so that we can have our data should be processed, and we can take some information from the data, so that we can take some decisions. So this data analysis gives us an idea, or you can say the sense from whatever the information is stored, we can analyze that data, and here in that case we can have a data from multiple devices also, not only one sensor is there, because in IoT system like in home automation or you can say in a smart city, we do not have one sensors only, we have multiple sensors. So in that case we need this analysis part, so that it can take the decision depending on different types of data from different sensors. So here we need some algorithms and we can process it. After this the layer is 6th layer, that is the application layer. As we have studied earlier also, this application layer is depending on the real time application, like the IoT system is designed for weather forecasting or for home automation or for industry application. So this layer will vary depending on the application part. And lastly the 7th layer, that is again about people and the process. So this is the business point. Here this IoT system gives us a platform so that we can have a business application. We can design some application such a way that it will be helpful for the general public also, and it will enhance the business point of view also. So this layer gives us a processing so that we can make some GUI application such a way that user can handle this our IoT system efficiently. Like for example, I have designed an home automation system. Then in that case, if I sell my home automation IoT based system to a person who is not aware of this IoT, then for that this device will work only with the GUI model, that it will give some input, it will set that system and it will use it. It does not think about how it will work, it only use it for its home automation. So this is all about our layer architecture. So we had discussed about components and we have discussed about the layer. Now how this architecture works. Okay, so to understand this architecture, we will start with the sensor part. So there are different types of sensors, actuators, that is smart devices like our gadgets. Okay, so it takes the input from environment. Okay, it gives this information. It gives information through microcontroller to gateway. Now here the gateway is the path, or we can say the like Wi-Fi or our internet connection. I can use my mobile to give my 5G or 4G network. So this gateway gives us a facility so that we can connect to our cloud. Okay, and the data which is collected from this sensor and smart devices, and this data is processed. Here we need a microcontroller also, so that data is processed and the relevant information is shared with the cloud, because we do not want to share an irrelevant or redundant information at the cloud, because cloud providers, the service providers, they can give you a specific amount of storage capacity. So you are for application applicator, or we as a programmer, we have to keep this in mind that we have a specific we are restrict with the data storage capacity. So in that case we will try to store only that much amount of information that is required while taking any decision. So this is one way. Second, we have second gateway. So from first gateway and second gateway we collect some information at this cloud. Okay, and then these information then given to this processor. Okay, and here the data is that processed, or you can say streamlined. That again here some algorithms and protocols are used so that they can store your data in a stack form or in a such a way that it cannot be clustered. It can be in a system. Actually here it is, we have a data lake with a cluster, but we can use a big data. So where we can arrange our data so that we can use it anytime, anywhere, because for example, if we are going with real time application of weather forecast, just I am telling you about that. So we have a sensor which are taking temperature with seconds, they are updating the data. Okay, so when you are taking your see your mobile, at that you are having a weather forecast with second temperature is there, means right now it is 14 degree, or it may modify with 15. If you move from one place to another, it can be updated with your current location. So there you have to have something which can process this frequently. okay, and it will delete the data or it will save the data. It depends on how much information so you want to store for further applications. Okay. So, in this way this data processing and census data get processed, and here we are having the web application and mobile application. That for example, if I have to control my AC through my mobile. So, AMI nowadays an app is there, I download that app, and from my mobile only I can switch on my AC, or I can switch off my AC. So, this is one of the application, but if I want that instead of me to react, my AC will be switch on or off depending on the environment. So, in that case I need an IoT system, because in that case I will give assignment that for 20 degree centigrade, if temperature is 20 degree, then AC will be off, and for the temperature above 28 or 30 degree, the AC will be on. So, if I program it once, then depending on the environment condition, that AC will be switch on or off. Okay. So, I do not need to give command from my mobile or anything, my system will work accordingly. I have only programmed it once, okay, till I have to reconfigure it. So, in that case these are some application, but here we need some user business logic. So, this is the seventh layer model. So, we need the analysis part. I told you that data analysis, because the data which is stored in this big data warehouse, we have to take the analysis that depending on the first sensor, second sensor, there are lots of sensors. So, this data is gathered here and it is get processed. From this data analysis, it will take the decision. Some programming part has to be done in such a way that we can take the decision depending on the information from multiple sensors. Okay. And this is the machine learning that gives you the or you can say modeling ANN network is there, so that we can give a what I can say intelligence to my dumb services. This artificial neural network and machine learning will give me a platform, so that my machine, if I program it for twice or thrice, for fourth time I do not need a programming. That machine can understand from 3 times that what is my requirement, how it has to be processed. So, this machine learning and this neural network will give intelligence to my whole system. So, once I have to program, twice I have to program, thrice I have to program. From my programming, that is the for 3 times if I programmed it in a particular fashion, then from that fashion it has to identify what is my basic requirement, how it has to work, and now after that it do not require my input, it will take a decision by itself only. So, in that case the human intervention can be reduced. So, this will be we will be using in case of our industrial application also, where we do not want that our human labor will be go and have a high temperature zone is there. So, suppose we are industry is having some boiler application or something like that. In that case we want that minimum human intervention in that particular area, that in that case we can use such type of system, so that it can once or twice we can program it, and from after 10-15 programming part it will take its own decision. Okay. So, this is all we are going to have about architecture part of IoT. Now, in the next lecture we are having an application part of IoT, and where we will have a smart city, we can have an application of IoT in the 4th lecture. So, this is all about architecture part. Thank you.